Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 57 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. In the last part, Oh yeah, no, I know what we're doing. We talked to the Searing Lady, or the Scorning Lady. We have a new party member whose name I have actually forgotten. It's something Mother, and we've got a couple of quests to pick with that we've picked up in this thing. Actually, wait. Grieving Mother, there she is there. See, I knew that was right. So currently we've got some more quests. We've got a Farmer's Plight, find the Ogre's lair somewhere in the wilderness outside of Deerford Village. Blood Legacy, speak with Lord Harrond at the Dracogen Inn. Or Dracogen Inn. And then the battle, then that's it. That's all we've got so far. Oh, and then we've also got the what's it called? I think we've got like the murderer or whatever. I don't remember. I don't know if that was to do with the grieving, but let's go into the inn. Let's talk to the head honcho in this place, so we can tell him to fuck himself. I mean, we can say, "What do you need?" We're not going to tell him to fuck himself. That's just rude. That's just fucking rude, lads. So let's have a look. Now, I'm not going to bother talking to the ones in yellow anymore, because honestly, that just took up so much time, and it's not. Like, I mean, now that I've got like again work. I
Surely
can't
even
really...
you can understand
My time
that.
management is shit, ladies and gentlemen. Until I improve that, we'll just have to accept it.
Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
The man wears an Sidious-style robes. Simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, not yet they've caked with mud. He yanks a lock of hair twinned around his silk-gloved fingers. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice, my daughter.
He tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
His guard leans in. My lord, Harold raises a hand to silence the man. If you find her. He nibbles the thumb of his one silk glove. Tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Alias, my child, is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. I'd like to ask a few questions about your daughter first.
Alice. Of course.
Describe Lady Alice. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now? Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Deerford for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Alice was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. What did you and Alice come to Deerford? Why did you and Alice come to Deerford? It was merely a stop along the way to Ina's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's in Ina's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but he gives in with a sigh. Lady Alice has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't have let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many hollowborn. It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Hayamar or New Yama. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospect for my child lay in Ina's Rest. Where's the rest of your family? Sure, they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Harrond is still ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, Alice has a few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Alice's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adir these past months. He rubs his cheek, and as for sibling, Alice has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn, since Alice, that is. I see, but going back to your daughter. Let's go back to my previous question. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Alice.
This is why I'm hoping you can help. He shrugs, tugs at a lock of hair again. I should have never trusted these people with my child. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Lord Nestor Harrond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Haomar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll do myself. But there's someone called Sid here. So
Good day to you.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute, and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Draco again? Normally I'd have a song already, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. So, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. Sure, let's hear it. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get out something to write with. It was built in the time of Hedret's rebellion, and a dear lady, Fauna, once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest of it is said to be buried underneath the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadret's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. The inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks that the colonists had pulled from the Lady Fauna's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place where the locals built their new town. What do you mean supposed to be? Deerwoodians are an orny lot, and the more of these new neighbours met, the more they argued. They realised they didn't agree on much, beside ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfaffins and their nearby ruins. Hedret's Knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more archaic leanings that had formed in the town wanted to go after the tribe the same way they'd gone after the lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as the adherents. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance. And others, I've heard, found their way into the Gilded Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfaffin tribes. I don't know if it's believed that part myself, but it makes a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Don't want to hear about the Broken Stone War. That was the first major conflict between the original Adirian settlers and the Glanfaffins. Happened 3 years into colonization when some farmers knocked over an Adra menhir that was part of an Ingwifan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists even realised there was a war going on until Glanfaffin raiders hit their village. There'd be small, spontaneous skirmish between the colonists and the locals before then, but this war was organised, and it was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and the Glanfaffins. As you can see, Deerwood's full of history, even in little villages like this. Tell me of the War of the Black Trees. It started back in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflict still broke out between the settlers and the Glanfaffins, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Adrang Hadret, Admeth's father, was Gref at the time. As part of the peace negotiations, he'd signed treaties prohibiting Adirian colonists from looting Ingwifan ruins. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glanfaffins as slaves. I see. What's a Gref? A Gref is the governor of a colony and is subservient to the Adirian emperor. The early leaders of the Adir colonies in Deerwood, including Edrang and Admeth Hadret, were Grefs. At the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadret declared himself the Duke of an independent Deerwood rather than the Gref of the Empress colony. It was the same term used of the leaders of the newly independent Valyrian republics. Anyway, we haven't had a Gref since. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glanfaff slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when the Imperial agent, aided by certain earls in Deerwood, began looting the ruins again. See, the Empire had never actually agreed to Hadret's treaty on the matters, and the recent succession of the Valyrian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadret's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glanfaffins. Edrang Hadret was too old to lead force into battle, and so he sent his son, Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Issyk Inn River to keep the Glanfaffin warbands from retreating. Thousands of Glanfathans died, and Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months. He wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Deerwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks. Well, that was actually quite interesting to learn, I'm not going to lie. So, let's see what people we can talk to. So we're going to go talk to you. You might have some plot relevance. Why, it's you! Thank you, friend. You've given me another chance, and I mean to make the most of it. I've been telling everyone around here about how you helped me. Who's that? Okay, yeah, let's pretend I know them, because I don't remember them.
Hello!
The innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see many travellers around here these days. Something I can do for you? What was your exchange with the nobleman about? He looks up from his polish in his tankard and glows at the lord. Folks around here are decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. Tell me about Lord Harold's daughter. He frowns and shrugs. His lordship says she up and went missing the other day. He wipes a tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift, jerking motions. I don't know any of that. However, these lordling bastards handle their affairs like ain't business of mine. You look agitated. Something about this doesn't sit right with you, does it? He slams a clean tankard down the bar. Damn right it don't. That lord's stunt is in here like he's a cut from the cleaner cough than the rest of us, and yet... He shakes his head. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or anybody else. I'm just wanting for him to tire of my ale and leave so things can go back to normal around here. I won't stand by and allow an innocent girl to come to harm. Help me find her. He lands on the bar inside. That girl, Alice, she was looking to disappear. You should have seen her watching the door like a sheep's at slaughter. All the same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I see her talk to with Tigrill. He nods at the east window. It's ships by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop, like I say, and don't profit to dig around in other people's business. And never mind, I want to talk about something else. I have questions about Deerford. He runs his rag on the rim of a mug. I ask, do you know anything about the Ingriffin ruin nearby? What I know is the best avoided. Don't serve to anger the Glanfathans by stomping around their sacred grounds. If you've got to satisfy your curiosity, talk to Beodmar. Beodmar. He's in the temple in the northeast. Have you seen a lion called Knifey? He jerks his head to the stairs. Twitchy lad, that one. Tell me about the village. Walk from one bridge to the next and you'll have seen it. We're quite hard-working folk. We keep to ourselves and we don't take to being pushed around. He glares at the well-dressed man standing off to the table. Sorry, fuck. I've got a... I swear I can read, ladies and gentlemen, I promise. Used to be a castle there, built by some family of Deer and Fanes back when the Empire first came. Only one tower still standing, and that's the part of Tigrill's shop now. Sid, that bard by the fire, could spin you down if you're inclined. Spin you the iron if you're so inclined. He lives in Deerford. Not many anymore. I have to keep people around when everyone here has been birthed in Aldwyn. We've got a few who stick around and do business. Tigrill's the leather courier. Hydrana crafts potion. Windfirth trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer. Or was anyway. Tell me about Tigrill. He's a courier. Treats leather and makes armour and a few other goods with it. Problem is, the smell of tallow and deer shit tends to put people off their food. And his shop's right next door. What's he doing in the story? Lady's a clever animal with potions and poultices. Got around into trouble with a nest of worms, so I hear. Her car's on the east end of town. And with them. Been around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way to the end of the sentence. His shop's across the square. Something happened to Ronald's pigs, I take it? Damn ogre carried him off. Now he squeals more in his than he ever did. He shrugs. It's rotten luck. Let's go back to my questions about Deerford. You don't see many travellers. Of course not. Why would they come here? We've got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest. As that yapping full Ronald, I'll tell you. Worse yet, there hasn't been an healthy child born in over a year. Most kith that come here is just passing through. About that ogre. Never mind, let's talk about something else. I like to order food and drinks. I've got everything I need actually, so I'll sell you that though, because I don't need it. Right. So yeah, she's grieving mother. Anyway, let's we're done there, so let's, he pointed to the stairs, so I think there's someone upstairs that we need to talk to. So let's go fucking look. Aldwyn hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Someone told me you're responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess. Was that man in Medref? She draws her stiletto. You're a big shot with the Crucible Knights. If I'd gone on some kind of rampage, don't you think you'd have heard about it? She shakes her head. I've got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't take it easy on you. Relax, I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dunwells came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? She runs her hand under the hood and through her hair. It was a nice mistake. I'm here just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medref, you know where he's waiting. Please, let me get out of here. I mean, a thief's a thief. I mean, at this point, do we even, who can we believe? Like, she's not wrong. The Crucible Knights would have probably told us. But at the same time, the Dominals aren't meant to like us, and I'd rather get in good with them. Head west toward the temple. That way's clear. Nia folds her arms and grows her lip. Her eyes bore into you. That's a lie. You're working for Medref. I know it. I should kill you right now. You can try. I mean, I'm not against it. Ah, fuck. Well, I seem to have fucked myself by getting put. There we go. Don't know what the fuck just got over there, but he's doing something. Right, I need you to use, you know, one of your really advanced healing potions right there.
Let's go.
Oh, she's dead. Oh, she can heal herself outside. Right. Let's take slow mode off. Why would you have slow mode on? We're too awesome for slow mode, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Yeah, was that unique? I'll put it in my pouch for now because I don't really need. I'm not overly interested in it. Right.
Aye.
You. Let's put this on quickly. See, this is the best way to learn spells. You just learn all of them. Right. Put your original one on. There we go. Right. So it looks like nothing else in here. We've killed who we needed to kill. We can check the other rooms, but yeah, those. Was that De Medici? Yeah, De Medici. An Italian noble family.
A simple test.
Let's open it. I don't give a shit how many it takes.
Settled.
Fucking hell, that was worth it.
That's settled.
I'd say they were worth it. So let's get out of here now. Well, we're gonna go rest first because I need some rest. Let's get ourselves over here and let's get ourselves to Dingler.
Hail and well met.
See what rooms you have. Make sure you close your window if you're on the right side facing Tyrrell shop. So Dragon's Lair looks cool. 2 might, 2 constitution, 2 intellect. Nice one. So we've got the ogre,
You must gather your
daughter, and we need to go report to the Dominials, who will hopefully become an ally in my fight against the twat faces over at the thing. I mean, they don't seem to be on here, so I'm guessing that they're not on there. We'll see. Let's go talk to them first, and then we can do. I think this is the tower, innit? Oh no, it's that one. That's just that is a tower, but it's not the tower I was looking for.
Good day, stranger.
Well, any luck with Nifty? I'm also looking for a woman named Liz Harrond. Have you seen her? Afraid not. I've just been watching for Nifri. I think I've met the woman you're talking about. Excellent. Then go back to her and tell her you didn't see anyone looking for her. I already killed her. You were... Oh, he blinked. That means I don't have to stick around this mud hole any longer. He fishes a coin purse out of his cloak. You have my thanks. How's Demeanel? We'll be grateful too. He winks. Farewell. Farewell. I'm not in the business of caring about that. So, how are we doing? We're fucking taking ages to get to level up. Actually, that's what I wanted to look at. Does House Demeanel, like... Yes, we're now neutral with... Now that we've actually done something with them, we're neutral with them. Right, I think we've been in there, yeah, we've been in there, because that's the grains. We'll go in here, or at least we'll prepare ourselves to go in there next part. And we'll see what else we can find about here. But this is obviously leading to a quest as well, so there's more than one reason to go there. But unfortunately, John, we'll have to go in the next part. You guys enjoy. See you guys next part. See you guys then.